Welcome to Tech Trove. Today we have a new hands-on leak of the iPhone 15 Pro Max along with a leaked benchmark and more spec confirmations. So the first story of the day before we get into the reveal, we've got the A17 leaked benchmark from Navient Tech while out on Twitter. And he's posted a Geekbench result for the iPhone 15 Pro, and it shows an incredible score of 3,269 for single, and then 766 for multi-core. This is way ahead of the upcoming Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in the latest Android phones. And this gets around 2,200 for single, and then 6,600 for multi. But the A chips are always way ahead in raw performance, so this is hardly a surprise. The result does, however, just come in the form of his image, and I can't find it on the Geekbench browser, so take this one with a pinch of salt for now. Next up, we've got a report that for the first time ever, we could see a choice of RAM configurations for the iPhone 15 Pro models, dependent on storage. The report says that it's going to come in a choice of 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM depending on the storage variant, but personally, I think this has to be incorrect, reliable, leaker, unknowns 21 tweeted to say that Apple were testing 6 and 8 gigabyte RAM variants, and this is probably where the confusion has come from. I just can't see Apple giving a choice of memory in the phones if this has never happened before. And Apple tend to focus on optimization, so giving it different RAM options for different models just makes things a lot more difficult now. Next up, we've got a new hands-on video released by YouTuber Unbox Therapy, and he claims to have an iPhone 15 prototype, and it shows us the differences in this video in his video. He compares it against the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and he shows us that the alleged iPhone 15 with a brushed titanium frame, USB Type-C, and a new large volume rocker, along with a new action button. Now I think it's pretty obvious that this is not an iPhone 15 prototype, and it's simply just a dummy model that's been made, or 3D printed, and it's based off of early lead CAD, which isn't even correct. There clearly isn't a display on the phone, and it's just some printed colours, and the latest card has already shown us we'll be getting the action button. But the volume rocker is going to remain to be 2 separate buttons, as I've been showing you in my renders for quite some time. The video does, however, give us a good look at what the new bezels are going to look like, and as you can see, they're much thinner than last year's. But there's no way that this is a prototype, so personally I would just ignore this one for now for those excited for the iPhone 15 series, though we're now going to run through the full specs design and the pricing of each model to help you guys decide which one is right for you. So first up, we've got the standard iPhone 15. With the standard iPhone 15, it will get a 6.1-inch 60Hz OLED display. It's got a resolution of 2532 watt by 1170, and it's protected by Ceramic Shield. We get the new Dynamic Island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and the Face ID sensors. And then on the rear, we've got a 12-megapixel primary camera with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A16 Bionic chipset, and it comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gig of storage. It's got a 300 milliamp hour battery with 30 watt fast charging, and it's going to come with 5G Bluetooth, 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6. Now, of course, it's going to ship with iOS 17, and it's expected to launch from around 850 on the 12th of September. Next up, we've got the iPhone 15 Plus. With the iPhone 15 Plus, we get a 6.7-inch 60Hz OLED display. It's got a resolution of 2778 by 1284 and is protected by Ceramic Shield. we get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and the Face ID sensors. Then on the rear, we've got a 12-megapixel primary camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered up by the A16 Bionic chipset and comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gig storage. It's powered up by a 4300 mAh battery with 30-watt fast charging, and it's going to come with 5G Bluetooth, 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6E. It will course shipped with iOS 17, and it's expected to launch from around 950 on the 12th of September. Next we've got the iPhone 15 Pro with a 6.1-inch 120Hz OLED display. It's got a resolution of 2556 by 1179. And again, it's protected by ceramic shield. We get the new dynamic Highland, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera in the Face ID sensor. Then on the rear, we get a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a 12-megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. It's powered up by the new A17 Bionic chipset, and it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM and up to 1 terabyte of storage. We've also got a 3300 mAh battery, and while the fast charging is unknown at the moment, we do expect improvements thanks to the USB Type-C ports. Now it comes with 5G Bluetooth, 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6E. And it will, of course, ship with iOS 17, and it's expected to launch from 1/100. Now finally, we saved the best to last. And it's the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. We get a 6.7-inch 120Hz OLED display. It's got a resolution of 2796 by 1290 and of course protected by ceramic shield. We get the dynamic Highlander to cover the 12-megapixel selfie camera in the Face ID sensor. Then on the rear, we get a 48-megapixel primary camera, 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. It's powered up by the A17 Bionic chipset and comes with 8 gigs of RAM and up to 1 terabyte of storage, and it's also powered up by a 4323 mAh battery. And again, we don't know the fast charging speeds, but because of USB-C, we do expect it to be higher. It comes with 5G Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6E. And again, it's going to ship with iOS 17, and it's expected to launch from 1/200. So the iPhone 15 Pro Max does look similar to its predecessor. But there are still plenty of upgrades like thinner bezels and more curved brushed titanium frame USB-C and a very impressive 17 chip. Well, it's probably not going to make people with a 14 rush for an upgrade for anyone on an older iPhone or looking to get their first iPhone. Then it's going to be a great choice given that we're so close to the September launch. Now leaks are likely to come flooding in, and of course I'll be sharing them as soon as they do. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe Tech Trove YouTube channel for more new exciting videos.